So then after that, you have to kind of scribe around here. And you make kind of arriving like that, like this. Then this one, like more like robot, like that, like this. Then you use the finger, index finger, you call that. So you place the opposite direction, the nail opposite direction here, like this. So you breathe in lengthy. In your understanding that the breathing, transmitted the whole entirety of your system, your body. So you breathe in until like lengthy holding. Then when you do like this, breathe out. When you breathe out, as if the breathing you just transmit to all throughout your body, when to collect kind of like whatever damage channels, chakras, nervous system, blood clots, and the dysfunctional of the flow of the gross wind energy and the subtle, the wind energy, then the easy flow of like drops, and the mind, because mind, if the easy flow of the mind is very much dependent on the subtle easy flow of the mind, very much dependent on the gross, the function of the mind, the gross mind, gross consciousness. The gross the consciousness, the function of the gross mind very much depend on the subtle wind channel. And that subtle wind channel very much, it is easy following, dependent on the gross wind energy or the wind element that usually, is one of the main element in our body, including to our life force. Then the blood flow, the blood circulation in our body is very much dependent on the good flow of the wind energy. Then subtle circulation of our physical energy dependent on the easy flow of the normal blood flow in our body. Then the easy flow of the drops, and now the channel, the chakra, the mind, everything, very much dependent on the overall good circulation of the entire outer four elements and the inner, 4 elements, then innermost subtle 4 elements. So it's all connected. So now this, the preliminary round of 9 rounds of breathing meditation, what we are doing here, including this mudra, it naturally activates all the clocks. And it helps to have a easy, natural, flow by activating, and that way help to easily able to calm your mind, able to bring peace in your mind. And when your mind is still and peaceful, then the clarity of the mind manifests. The concentration, the focused mind also manifests from the stillness. So the initial 9-round breathing meditation, no need to have any visualization, just simply do this mudra exercise, and just simply breathing lengthy in and out. There's nothing more to think, nothing more to visualize, you know. Oh, so like this, then like this, then like this. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Then you kind of conclude it. Then again, do the similar way. Out like that. Then now to the opposite side. Like that. Like this. And again, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, lengthy. Then the third round is, now first you conclude this and rest on your knee. So now you release this hand, thumb placing onto the ring finger, the knot here. Release it. So third round, you just rest on the knee. When you breathe in, you make fist like this. You like do like this, and try to do a bit kind of sense of little force there. When you breathe out, you release according with the breathing and your hand mudra. Stretch as much as possible and do like this, like that, place like this. So very much like do like this, do like this, this 3 times. So that 9 round. So this we will do. So this is also beneficial for your future meditation practice. So this one you take as a preliminary to just prepare and settle yourself and make all the inner, outer, secret, innermost chakras, channels, mind functionable. Then same 9 round breathing meditation. Now you can use that as to purify. In the first round, you purify aversion. When you breathe in, you take all the good energy, like antidotes, that which help to antidote to purify aversion. Emptiness is like antidote to all negativities, isn't it? So you can use emptiness. You can understand whatever blessings, whatever impact, whatever power that emptiness has, like it gathered within you and transmit entire your system, and purify the negative emotion of aversion and whatever potential that it carry in our mental continuum as a form of karma, and it is consequences which we are already experiencing, which is this samsaric product, inconvenient physical body, inconvenient emotion, and the environment, etc. So when you breathe out and you visualize, like very much like in the form of either just in the form of something that which you usually interpret or represent as a anger or aversion. But generally in Buddhist teaching, in fact, the Buddha himself draw the wheel of life. The snake, Buddha draw there as a represent anger, aversion. So it's a very poisonous, very ruffle, scary snakes, coming out. And you breathe lengthy that until you have a time to visualize that you have discard or purify beyond return, beyond reachable. Or the moment you breathe out is completely dissolved into empty, completely vanish, non-traceable. So you can visualize like that. So the second round, you purify attachment. Attachment. So again, in the form of all the like emptiness, wisdom, or similar like before, or For the anger is patient. The direct antidote is patient. Emptiness also is one of them. Now for attachment, then any practice that practice detachment. In particular in Lamrim, we talk about if there's in your system the excessive attachment is to do with the human physical form, like desire human physical form, then there's a meditation about seeing uh, the relative truth about that human form, which is, the compositions of a skeleton, blood, all this mucus, meat, bone, I mean, one by one, you can, if your skin take out, then can you imagine, there's no way you can still able to attach to that body. Then you take off the skin and meat and then just put the skeleton there, you will run away. And you will beg that I don't want you, So anyway, so there are ideas like that. But whatever you feel that in your life, you know that whenever there's a excessive attachment arises, and when you think something like that, when you think the figure of, like, let's say Mother Tara or Manjushri or Shakyamuni Buddha or Guru, immediately your attachment subsides, so you can visualize them. Or certain light form, certain light that which calm your over, like kind of boiling, desirous attachment. You can visualize like that. Such energy, you just, bring into your system. And again, when you breathe out, then usually it's a more like reddish color, like kind of blood, that kind of aspect, coming out. Or from the wheel of life, then finis, there's a bird, finis, which is, the nature in relation to that particular bird is desire. So you can visualize like that. It's like bringing out in the form of that, and you purify them, beyond traceable. Then the third round, you purify the ignorant. So similar, especially direct antidote to ignorance is wisdom of emptiness. So Manjushri's sword is represent wisdom of emptiness. There's a scripture that at the other side, left side of Manjushri, there's a scripture on top of the lotus that also is to symbolize emptiness. And similar, like Lama Tsongkhapa also have a sword, also have a wisdom sutra that symbolizes as a emptiness. So you can visualize as if, like, I think some of you experienced last night snowfall or early morning. When you look out, there's like infinite snowflakes falling. So infinite, like that sutra, infinite that wisdom sword, infinite little Manjushri. But in the form of light energy form, not a tangible thing. So you breathe in, you just transmit to entire your system. Then kind of like a scrapping. Like many of you, I think, have experience of spa, isn't it? I heard Santa Fe nearby got a spa, mud spa. So scrapping. So it's like whatever thing that need to get rid of, then in the form of like black shoot, dark, smoky kind of like aspect, or sorry to the pig, but look like pig. So the pig, again, by nature, the chemical nature is ignorant. That's the main element for someone to be pig is like ignorant. So you visualize, like so many little pig. You can also visualize cute one, fat one, running out. Actually, when you see, the pigs, little pigs running out, so, so you can say run out until untraceable. So anyway, so like that. Yeah, of course, better be serious. So you do, this example. So you can do such meditation in relation to purifying diseases using the same meditation technique, same meditation mudra, and use the tools of breathing and this mudra to purify certain form of diseases. And best is if you know what is the main cause of that disease. Of course, the ultimate cause of any diseases is the karma, and ignorance is still the player. But then conditionally there are certain factors, certain element. Maybe it could be food, could be poison, or could be the environment, or could be something. So if you know, then you visualize that going out, purifying that out in the form of that. Then certain medicine. Of course, ultimate medicine is medicine Buddha. So you can visualize medicine Buddha's nectar, medicine Buddha's medicinal pill. You can visualize medicine Buddha's arura, the medicinal herbs, which medicine Buddha you can see in the picture. You visualize that, or medicine Buddha's baking bowl, which is filled with the medicine nectar. So you consume them, and then that help to cleanse it out like that. Then if you know that it is something like the human obstacle to you, then again, ultimate cause of that is the karma and the delusion. And you from your side also have a contribution to that. Ultimately, the main reason why others are harming you is in fact due to the not realizing the ultimate truth because of ignorance. In particularly ignorant that express into ego, express into self-cherishing attitude. We have practiced that. We have cultivated that in the past lifetime. So that is the main reason why we have conflict with others, why others are harming you, because of self-charity, especially to do with the living being. Why any living being harm to you? Why mosquito bite you? And people got malaria, whatever. Why cockroach is so disturbing you? Or why this person is like so nasty about you? The main root cause is ignorance, not knowing ultimate reality of self and the person and the phenomena. But specifically, that ignorance happen to express in a self-cherishing attitude. The self-grasping attitude is the root. Due to that, there's another emotion. There are many negative emotions, but this particular one, self-cherishing, self-centered attitude, have cultivated that. And because of that, then you receive harm from others. So now, as if like in your body, there's like around in this chest area, which is usually is a heart chakra here, very rusted, yet very concrete, like iron rod, like stick here, so hard to get rid of. That represents self-grasping, self-cherishing attitude. No? Mm-hmm. So now, compassion. So to heal other people's harm, others' harm, other sentient beings' harm, is compassion is the most powerful antidote. So you visualize Cheresik, infinite like snowfall like Cheresik comes to you. Dissolve into when you breathe in. Infinite, the Cheresik crystal mala, infinite crystal mala in the form of light comes into you. Infinite Om Mani Padme Hum, the mantra comes to you. Infinite white light, emanate to you. You see, like medicine Buddha, infinite, blue light. Manjushri, infinite golden light. You see, so here, infinite white light, comes to you, dissolve into you. Then when you breathe out, all this light is like become like a hook or like a ropes, chain. This iron rod, like which represents self-charity attitude, bring it out. Purify beyond your reachable. So very powerful, to purify the root cause to all the problem that we receive from someone harming to you is meditation. Okay, so so like that. So good to know what are the things, what are the reason, what are the causes, so that you can apply into meditation. There are naga harms. There's so many health issues, spirit harms, naga harms. Spirit and naga harms very much like us, visualize into a scorpion. In the visualization of scorpion, you see. So again, for that, like Vajrapani, Hayagiva, Garuda, if anything to do with spirit harm, naga harm, landlord harm, or even elemental harm, like astrological harm. You can think of Vajrapani, the Buddha of power. You see, Vajrapani carry huge Vajra. So infinite Vajra, like you breathe in, or then you kind of, the Vajra, like kind of like magnet, it just like suck all the harm that you're receiving as in the form of your health issue. Then going out in the form of a scorpion, many poisonous scorpion is going out like that. So, like many of those like cancer sicknesses, skin diseases, what do you call the paralyzed, nerve system diseases, blood clot, diseases, many karmically, you can relate to more like a spirit harm or elemental harm or naga harm, landlord harm, the harm that we create unintentionally, most of the time unintentionally scraping the ground, like cutting the rock, cutting the trees, doing minings, etc., like that. Well, then if it is unknown, but karma is a karma accumulated in the past, karmic potential that live in our system, which only Buddha can explain what is exactly that, but we don't know. Even certain Arya beings may not know. You need to be omniscient. So we call the karmical kind of result, or karmic imprint ripened. Then again, emptiness is the main antidote, wisdom. The meditation can do it, as mentioned earlier. Then in the form of black shoot, dark smoke coming out like that. So then at the end of the 9th round of the breathing practice meditation, then you dedicate, or you understand that you are completely purified, and you become one taste with the Chenrezig, with the Manjushri, with Vajrapani, Hayagiva, Garuda, or whatever meditation that you relate to, that you become oneness with the antidote, or you dissolve oneness with the emptiness nature, Dharmakaya nature, then from that on, try to hold on to that you can say divine pride, or that correct knowing, that purified state of yourself. You carry on through your mindfulness as much as possible. So you can do that. Then after that, then do do short meditation on single point of concentration, and especially there you use holy object to place your concentration. The best is like Shakyamuni Buddha's holy image, which is very simple, very easy to meditate. Or if you have any other deities which is most familiar, or any other syllables like Om Mani Padme Hum, or just Om, or maybe bright light, whatever. But let's say here we use Shakyamuni Buddha. So then you visualize, after concluding this 9 round of breathing practice, you just, relax you're already kind of like settled now by now. Uh, mm, uh, and as far as concerned of meditation posture, doesn't matter. It can be sitting cross-legged, can be sitting on the chair. For some people, can be lying down. You know, meditation posture is very much depend on you. It's something that which kind of construct yourself, use as a basis for the meditation, and not distracting through that posture, through that sitting, like pain or discomfort, whatever, like that. And also, eventually, you will know what is the best meditation posture to you, which also something very important to check it out. You do in many different posture, and what meditation posture is like really give you a quality meditation. That's one story I think many of you have heard. I always talk about this. In Tibet, there's one meditator who've been using the 7 Vairocana posture, the usual perfect posture, and he has the correct instruction of meditation. There's no mistake at all. But after a long time, also he's not attaining any realization. So then he went to consult with the senior meditator who believed to have a clairvoyance, and asked him, and he says that your meditation posture is wrong. Everything is right, but your posture is wrong. Then he said, no, I'm doing 7 Vairocana meditation posture. He says that your posture should be the cow lying down. How the cow, when they get rested after their stomach is full, your posture should be like that. That's your correct posture. Then he says there's a great influence of your immediate past lives, the subtle aggregates to this body, these physical aggregates. So that's why your channels are actually is not like that. It's like that. So you say you go back and lie down like the cow, then meditate. Then within short period, he actualized realization. So that's why, yeah, of course, when you do 7 version of meditation posture, each has its own significance, which is very beneficial. You should try with that. But if it's not working out, then try it out something else that which work for you. So when you use the Buddha image or whatever image, there are certain texts emphasized to use as small as possible, because that will help you to kind of like restrain from like distraction. You will channel your mind to more concentration like that. So anyway, it's recommended about like thumb size, maybe about 1 inch, like that. But then again, this also depends on individual. For some, as giant as possible, you meditate on that. It's easier to focus. For some, small. So again, it's depend on you. And the size is around like about 1 foot distant from your forehead, and somewhere above, like that. When you look up, like it's up there, like that. When you no need to like open too much, like naturally when you look up, like that. And the object you are choosing, let's say Shakyamuni Buddha statue or body, in your knowing, is like got a quite heavy weight. So again, that heavy weight, the notion of heavy weight, help you to hold on to, like kind of like settle easier to your mind, uh, uh, like focus. It will help to stay focused, especially for the beginner. Then you visualize the image is very bright. Now here we are using Shakyamuni Buddha image. It's like kind of like very light form, or infinite like kind of brightness, of that object. When you look at it, they're like so bright, and that helps to as a clarity. So when you do meditation, you need 2 quality to be achieved. And you have to gradually build these two qualities within the meditation process. One is single pointedness to the object of meditation and clarity to the object of meditation. Single pointedness and clarity. Single pointed in knowing, holding to the object of the meditation, and also complete clear of that object. So single pointedness and clarity. Now there's also a third quality which usually emphasized from shamatha meditation is pliancy. Means from very beginning, physically, mentally, that you don't feel stress, you don't feel you need to force. The more you meditate, the more clarity develop. The more single pointed concentration develop, the more relaxed you become, physically and mentally, like more comfortable you become. So that quality need to be achieved. You see, so you have to. It depends on individual again. If your mind is so easily get distracted either by dullness or stirring mind, dullness or the excitement, then you spend quite a good quality time in this meditation. After the breathing exercise, now this meditation. Then after that, now the actual meditation arrive. Now for the actual meditation also has two categories. Initial one, analytical meditation on emptiness. Okay, so first, you recall, the exact definition of emptiness. You see, so you want to meditate on emptiness, you have to know exactly, the subject, isn't it? So knowing of any subject is know the definition. So here, if you want to meditate on I, your identity, then I is emptiness, emptiness is I is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not other than I. In Heart Sutra, like form is empty, emptiness is form, form is not other emptiness, emptiness is not other than form, and that is the definition of emptiness. So you have to apply this to any object, any base that you want to achieve a wisdom of emptiness, that which you can use as an object to do analytical meditation. Okay? So let's say example, self or I, or maybe in many cases, self, the name is like can be quite difficult subject. So rather maybe you use a form. Let's say you use your table or you use your limbs or body. Let's say physical form. Maybe I use like table. So table is emptiness. Means table is lack of inherent existence. Emptiness is table means lack of inherent existence of table is the table, or is table is emptiness means table is lack of inherent existence. The nature of the table is lack of inherent existence. Lack of inherent existence is nothing other than the nature of the table or being of the table. So that lack of that table which is lacking of inherent existence is not other than emptiness, not other than it is ultimate nature. It is ultimate nature which is being of interdependently constructed, the conventional phenomenon. The table is not different from, is void of lack of inherent existence. So form is emptiness, emptiness is form, form is not other than emptiness, emptiness is not other than form. So there comes, you come to understanding that what is the emptiness of form? Is emptiness of form is a lack of inherent existence. What is the lack of inherent existence of the form? Is interdependent arising form. So that is the meaning of emptiness. Now, what is the impact of that? in your understanding, intellectual understanding, you lose the grasping to the form as an inherent existence. To lose the grasping in relation to the form as an independent existence, because it's a dependent arising. Because of dependent arising, you lose the false knowing of the form as an inherent existence. You see, and you're able to overcome the false of non-existent. So when you establish emptiness of form, you are actually establishing legitimate existence of the form. You are not trying to achieve non-existent of the form. When you establish non-existent of the form, you are not trying to prove the form is, empty. You in fact try to actualize legitimate existence of the form, the interdependent existence. So establishing interdependent existence is not try to establish inherent existence or substantial existence. You are trying to establish existence that is a lack of inherent existence. You see, so you're able to purify or clear the two extremes of nihilism and nihilism, and you arrive into the middle way view or middle way understanding of ultimate nature, which is emptiness. When you see the form, you see emptiness. When you see emptiness, you also see no different nature, no other nature of being the form, on the basis of that, the labels that, you establish, so-called as a form or the body, so like that. Anyway, so there's later I will discuss, there's a few ways to do the analytical meditation. So now here is like, you arrive with analytical meditation. You do the analytical meditation until you arrive to oh, I see. Yes, now I understood. Your form is definitely exists, but does not exist the way how I thought it exists. How I've been perceiving it is existent. It exists lacking of inherent existence or substantial existence. So you arrive to that confirmation in your heart, like conviction. Oh, I see. It's very much like everybody having candy, chewing candy, and except yourself not. And everybody looks like enjoying chewing candy. So say, what are you chewing? What are you like so enjoying? They say, oh, I'm just chewing candy. I say, I mean, what is the taste? They say, oh, it's delicious. Delicious. Oh, I see. What can you explain to me? Yeah, it is sweet. I say, can you explain to me the sweetness? I say, oh, it is not bitter. It is not sour. It is not this. It is not that. But still, you can't able to express exactly the sweetness that you've been tasting. Anybody can explain in word exact taste of the sweet? I think usually cannot, but maybe we may believe that we can. So anyway, so then after that, I presented to you whatever word that exists in the dictionary to describe the sweetness, and you still didn't get it. Okay, now, I placed the sweet that I'm chewing into your mouth. And you will say, oh, I see. Like that. Then now you explain to me back. I will say, you have no other dictionary words except whatever you have just said. No? So, but it's unexpressible. Unexpressible in a word, but I see this is it. So when you do meditation on emptiness, you have to arrive to that zone. Yes, yes. Even whatever word that explained in the scripture, actually like not enough. Even Nagarjuna, how many great words he used, actually none of them didn't able to express the exact taste of emptiness. And the exact that taste of emptiness is only when you realize it. And it is unexpressible. That's why even in the Wisdom Sutra, it's a masam jeme shara parojin. It's unexpressible. I don't know in English, but masam jeme means unexpressible. The mada panchaparamita. You know? So, so then that I see, that conclusion, that real sweet taste, you just taste it, is called the wisdom of analytical meditation. And that wisdom is the one that you need to take onto the object of meditation of absorption meditation, the real meditation. Okay, so now here, we need to exercise in analytical meditation in many objects first. You know, like in the Heart Sutra, you know, talk about form, then talk about rest of the aggregates, talk about 18 constituent, you know, like 6 elements, etc. Basically, those are just some idea only. We have to analyze lack of inherent existence in everything that we see, in everything that we taste, in everything we hear, in everything we think. Whatever thought arises about something, you immediately have to analyze it. You immediately have to analyze, is this thought, is this feeling, you know, exist the way how it exists or not? Is this inherent existence or not? You know, until you have to come to arriving that, oh, it does not exist inherently. It is completely void of inherent existence. It is exist, you know, very much like a dream. It's very much like illusion-like, or very much like space-like, you know. So you see, so then only now you do the absorption. Okay, after doing analytical meditation, all the object, the final object, in order to qualify to be your real absorption meditation, is the wisdom you gain from doing analytical meditation on the wisdom itself. Okay, the wisdom that which understand or which realize emptiness of anything, that wisdom also need to analyze whether this wisdom, who is realizing emptiness of all phenomena, is also lies in the nature of emptiness or not. So now you need to analyze on the by subject on the subject. You know, by subject, the mind, on the mind, and also the most exalted mind or most profound mind from all the ordinary other minds, which is the wisdom realizing emptiness. Okay, so even in our training, you know, after you do much analysis of all the other phenomena, you have to train. We have to train ourselves. The mind that try to realize emptiness of all, whether this mind also lies in the nature of emptiness or not, we need to analyze it. After analyzing, you will arrive to a point that, oh, even the wisdom realizing emptiness also lies in the nature of emptiness. You know, for sure, there's no substantial or substantial base in entire tangible phenomena. But even in the non-tangible phenomena, like a mind, the wisdom itself, also there's no solid, concrete, substantial existence there that I can grasp as an independent existence, as a substantial existence. So when you arrive that complete void of, you know, slightest of substantial existence from the direction, which is on the form, but here on the mind is, you know, this substantial existence in relation to time, past, future, present, you know, or momentaries. The previous moment of that wisdom mind, next moment of this wisdom mind, and this wisdom also has many characteristics. The wisdom that which, you know, the wisdom realizing emptiness also carry the wisdom of sharpness, like single pointedness. wisdom of clarity, wisdom of absolute knowing. So it has its own clarity. It has its own characteristic. You see, but arriving to a knowing or it is ultimate nature, you have to come to a point losing even the slightest form of substantial existence in it is momentaries. So it is harder to analyze whether there's substantial existence or not in the subject. For the object, of course, we look for like a kind of like particles. We look for, we look for part and particles. It is much more easier to determine. But when it comes to mind, mind itself, so the only way we can search is on momentaries. You see, so when you arrive to that complete void of nothing to hold on, nothing to hold on, either in the past, in the present, future, then you very much like arrive to a like middle of the space, middle of the vast space, and when you arrive middle of the vast space, which is so vast that you can't, even you look like that, you can't see any direction, ends. You see, and you can't measure how depth the space is. It's completely completely void of anything to be grabbed, anything to be grasped. Yet it is existent. Yet it is luminous. So on that moment, when you arrive at that moment, then you completely dissolve into that luminosity. Did I say correctly the word? Luminosity. So it's so luminosity. I think maybe we cannot make sound also. I think I don't know, or maybe we can make sound. So anyway, so then you you stay in the absorption of we call space-like meditation. Space-like. In your wisdom, you arrive space-like because of overcoming or releasing the bondage of all graspings. And just observe. That's why I call absorption meditation. No need to analyze it. No need to interpret. Just remain in that complete voidness as long as possible. And being in that voidness is it itself is experiencing liberation. And when that habitual experience is fully matured, you naturally arrive to a real liberation, ultimate liberation. So something like okay. Now meditation. Sorry. Okay, so we do that. Okay, so when you go back home, so this is the sequence. This is the discipline. And that's the reason. Is the discipline. Uh, no, if you directly try to observe in a observation meditation, it doesn't work unless you're already Arya being. Otherwise, it won't be quality meditation. So you need to have like a preliminary, just what I line out. It's very much the meditators would train it like that. And if you repeatedly do like that, eventually you're able to do a very short time preliminary practice, but then actual meditation can be very successful for lengthy kind of experiential meditation like that. Okay, yeah. I said for us to have a break, but actually haven't before even start. My alarm rings, so to take a break. Okay, so we do meditation. Okay, yeah. Okay, no talking now. Thank you. So now do 9 rounds to purify the 3 poisons. So same mudra. Second round for the attachment. Third round. Release. This one, I think, before I forget to mention, you breathe in from the two nostril, breathe out from the mouth. Thank you. So now do short meditation, single pointed meditation. Use any object that you feel comfortable and try to develop these two qualities, as is 3 qualities, the single pointedness to the object and clarity of the object and sense of comfortableness or relaxation that you can able to experience through your body and mind. Okay, start. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So this is just a auspicious start. So you can do at home. For me, I need to do many lifetime. Okay, so you can maybe stretch a bit. Yeah, if you like to stand up and stretch, then after that I will do short teaching. Then maybe we can conclude today like that. Yeah. So some of this, the knowledge from Atisha's text and some explanation on that would be helpful for the analytical meditation and also how to guide ourselves to the absorption meditation. Mm. So verse 54, it says, just as a wisdom does not see an inherent nature in phenomena, having analyzed wisdom itself by reasoning, non-conceptually meditate on that. So this is a very straightforward guidance, how to meditate. As I mentioned before, we need to, first do the analytical meditation on tangible phenomena, or all the object of wisdom realizing emptiness. First we establish emptiness on that, through analysis. So there are a few ways to do, analyze that. One of the way we have already discussed on the last class. So some of you not familiar with that, you can refer to that for your future, knowing. Um, where the self exists by self cause, or the true existence self, or self exists by others, may others cause. Self exists by both cause and no cause, self cause and other cause. Self or by neither. So there's a four, we call the four cornering diamond fragmented reasoning to analyze um, whether there's substantial existence self or not, and that same reasoning you apply with whichever object that you want to analyze. It is ultimate nature, emptiness. Then there are seven. We call the So actually, I asked to share a note so that later you can refer to that. So there are three. There are many ways, many reasoning, many examples that illustrated in text. But there are few that which you can use easily and immediately. From the very beginning, like myself, if I want to do meditation on emptiness, analytic meditation on emptiness. So the first one is using the four-cornered proof of diamond fragmented reasoning to examine that there is no intrinsic, inherent, substantial, true, independent, or infallible production of self, or I, or form, or aggregates. So the first point is, a thing is not produced from itself. So the commentary I've done before. So in short is, the thing or I is not produced by my own, self, intrinsic existent cause, and that is obvious. Then in the commentary, we give example of, then if the result, the self, is already exists, during the cause, then there's no reason to reproduction. Remember? More than that, if the cause is intrinsic cause or inherent existing cause, then worse. Even legitimate cause, like cause and effect, the cause. If the result exists during the time of a cause, then there's no benefit of reproduction. So we are not running supermarket, to sell more products, and so there's no reproduction of, intrinsic, result of person, which already pre-existent in intrinsic. It is cost time. So anyway, yeah. Then the second one is know from another. Again, there are two aspects. The cause and effect need to have it is special characteristic relationship, speciality. Like a gene, like me and my parents. My parents are my cause, and I'm their result. So, and that can be traced through a special gene. So I cannot be a son of your parent, isn't it? Then worse than that, I cannot be a son of intrinsic or inherent existing your parent. So then the third one is not from both. Then there's no way. uh, that's almost like you don't know who your father is. But even you don't know, or there's only one father. I don't think that the two father substance mixed together and produce one baby. I don't think so. It's possible? Maybe not, isn't it? So it has to be very special lineage. So yeah, so also cannot be production of both. Then no causelessly either, and of course it didn't drop from the sky for sure. There's a long process happen to each and every one of us to come into this world, isn't it? Then, so therefore, it does not exist inherently by way of its own entity. Its own entity its own entity in itself, its own entity in another, its own entity in both, from both, its own entity in causelessness. So you can analyze, you can analyze whether I exists, the first point, or in the second point, and the third point, and the fourth point. Of course, if you have a better idea, you can use better logic, you can use also. But these are the traditional logic been using for thousands of years, and it did work to Nagarjuna to become who Nagarjuna is, Lama Tsongkhapa to become who Lama Tsongkhapa is, etc. So you can try it out. So now another one is the using the 7 ways analysis to examine that there is no intrinsic, inherent, substantial, true, independent, finable production of I, me, you, and rest of the phenomena. So the first one is, so in the text they use Sharia. Oh, yeah, I always have trouble to pronounce that. Sharia. So the acharya is neither asserted to be other than it is part. The first one. So I is neither asserted to be other than my aggregates or my organs, my form and mind, etc. Then the second was know to be none other. I is not separate from my organs, not separate from my body, not separate from my mind, isn't it? It does not possess them. I does not possess. It does not possess them. So I does not possess, of all the aggregates. A chariot does not possess by all the parts. It looks like it possesses, but actually it's not, because then that will give you a second one. It does not depend on the part, because part can be dismantled. You see, so I do not depend. In order to exist, the I also, it does not depend. It is existence does not depend on it is aggregates. You see, sometimes we're born as a formless being, so we don't have a form aggregates. So by losing the form aggregates, we cannot say that I do not exist, my continuum do not exist. Sometimes we just born as a spirit, only in human body, and there are some other realms, we have this complete aggregate as a base to identify ourselves. But in many cases, not. So therefore, it does not depend on the parts. It's not like must have 5 aggregates to determine your existence. And the fifth one is the part do not depend on it. You see, we do heart surgery, heart transplant. Then sometimes just nowadays also due to diabetes, amputations happens. Limbs are cut off. But it's still the person can exist. Person continue to exist, isn't it? So, and it is part do not depend on to establish the person's existence, something like that. It is neither the mere collection of the part. It looks like a mere collections of the I is a mere collections of these aggregates. If it's mere collection of these aggregates, again, when we don't have certain limbs with, attached to us or certain organs taken out, then it will have a hard time to establish your existence. You see, so it's not a mere collection. Nor it is their shape. Shape also can change, and because of that, you cannot say that your identity changed. You still hold the same passport, isn't it? Our shape changed so much from little boy to this old man, So say, so if the mere collection of the part were a chariot, then a chariot could exist even while its parts lies in pieces. So that's also one way to understand. Without the whole, the part do not exist. Hence, the mere shape also cannot be the chariot. So now what left? Nothing more than merely label, nothing more than the name only at the end. So therefore, through these 7 points of analysis of identifying your legitimate existence, the legitimate existence, legitimate identity is nothing more than merely name only. A name that label onto the correct base, which is again is the aggregates. But then again, it doesn't mean that it is too dependent of whole of it, or just one of it. And from that point of view also, yes, it is interdependent on part and particles, the aggregates, but ultimately, when you go and research how the base exists, even the form base, also you cannot find. If you examine your form body, you cannot find. Yes, please. Yeah, part of being is also a being. So part of being is like this. Until your rebirth is determined through karma, it may take just a moment, or maybe even for 40, maybe 49, 9.9 days. Until then, it's a human battle. Once it's determined, the karmically, the next rebirth in the battle state, then if you're going to be born as an animal, so it's within the category of animal being. Or if it's spirit being, like that. Yeah. So then again, yeah, you can say the gross aggregates are all dissolved before you're born into Bado, isn't it? And if it's belong to the human realm of that Bado being, but you don't have this human physical base. So now, that's why, here, it's not totally dependent on the parts. Or part has to depend on it is, so yeah. Mm. Okay. You maybe your English will make better understanding of these wordings. Maybe I may give you even more confusing, so you can later you read it and you meditate. So this is the one thing. That then the third one is using the 4-point analysis to examine, whether I phenomena, exists inherently or not. So the 4-point first one is identification of what is to be refuted, negated. So you need to first know, you see, you want to discover the truth. If you want to discover the truth, you need to know the false. You see, so otherwise you won't able to differentiate what is truth and what is false. So now here you want to discover your ultimate truth. Then that only can be able to do so by negating the false I, the false view, the false subject and the false object, and the grasping in between, grasping, on both, the combine of both, the grasping, which is called the self-grasping attitude, self-grasping ignorance, you see. So, so now, here, so we need to talk about negation. The first, you need to identify the negation. And to elaborate that, you need to talk about the two types of ignorance: innate ignorance and conceptually actualized ignorance. And the second one is to determine the mood in which I could exist. So the second one is now you can take in the 7 different points to analyze the chariot example. Or earlier, the 4 points, 4 proof of diamond fragment and reasoning. So you have to search. You have to determine the mood in which the 7 moods or the 4 moods where I could exist. Let's say I could exist in my aggregates, I could exist other than my aggregates, I could exist within the aggregate, I could exist dependent on aggregates, I could exist the part of the dependent on aggregates or neither, etc. like that. In short, I could, there will be only few possibilities. If you in conclude, I could be exist within and without aggregates. If it exists within aggregates, then it has to be aggregates. It has to exist either whole of it or part of it. If it's whole of it, then you need to exist in body, in feeling, in consciousness. And composition, all the 5 aggregates you need to exist. Even in the body, there are numberless cells. You need to exist in each of the cells. Even in the consciousness, there are virtuous consciousness, negative consciousness, neutral consciousness. You need to exist. So in one way, you become many. One person become many. That's a false, obviously, isn't it? One person going to be numberless me, because each of the cells is me. And each moment of consciousness is going to be me. Numberless momentary of consciousness of the past, present, future, virtue, non-virtue. Also, then contradicting. I going to be virtue, non-virtue same time. So that's the way. If it is part of it, if it exists within, but only part of it, which one? Your head, your throat, your heart, your lung. So you have to go and do a big excursion. And top to toe. You see? So at the end, you won't able to find one particular cell that can say this is me, one particular organ that you determine that this is me, or one particular thought that you can say this is me, one particular feeling that you can say this is me, one particular compositional factor you can say this is me. And you trace all the way to beginningless lifetime, every single moment, every single reincarnation, you go and figure it out that this is me, but none rest of the other. You won't able to find it. The exact analytical meditation, this has to be done. This has to be done. So now you are sure you didn't find at all within. Now without. Now you go to find I onto this table. So this table got 4 corners. Am I in this corner? Am I in this corner, this corner, or whole of it, or maybe underneath? That's much more easier to figure it out than searching inside, isn't it? And if still you doubt, you bring one, what do you call, sword chain, maybe chop. So you chop yourself. So you do. Sometimes maybe need to do that until you're fully convinced and satisfied that I'm really do not exist in the table, on the table, side of the table, or wherever it is. Then, if you doubt on the floor, you have to take out all your floor. You really, or maybe hiding in the carpet. You really have to in every single dust. Actually, the meditators, why spend so much time, isolation, meditation? They literally do that. They literally do that. They really make sure that, of course, with your just through visualization, you're able to work it out. Well done. But if your mind is not listening, if your grasping is still so strong, you literally go and, you literally have to go and exercise with that. So sometimes maybe we may think meditator means like so peaceful in the cave, just like zombie like that. No, not always you will find. You will find a meditator there who looks like 1,000 times busier than you, 1,000 times busier. Like not sitting without meditation like that. But this meditator is like, just now I saw is up there in the mountain, and now suddenly I saw in this direction, that direction. Or you go into the cave, like everything is messed up because he's searching for I. He's searching for self, and he could not find. And 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 the meditator is, I mean, fortunately, if the meditator have like a copper or metal kind of pot for his soup making, well done. Even how much you try to destroy, it will be quite high. If you have a porcelain one, clay one, you will find meditator's pot is like completely smashed. Because on the journey of searching, I could not find, suddenly thought it could be in the pot. And search, could not find, maybe hiding somewhere. So that's why, and sometimes the meditators, uh, uh, so they're very a lot of hair, messy hair. So they think maybe my business was uh, uh, and sometimes you find lies and they thought, oh, must be this one. Oh, yeah. So anyway, so yeah, sometimes meditator is you may find like that. So don't expect always just sitting there. Okay. So that's why sometimes they are not crazy, but they behave like crazy. There are many meditators, they behave like crazy. They behave like the most busybody person because they are searching for themselves. They couldn't find. They go everywhere, to search for I. So yes, so you have to do like that. Uh, yeah, and yeah. So that's why some they take whole life, whole life to do that. So now look at us, look at me. How to find uh, the legitimate existence self? Because I'm completely settled in one place. uh, uh, Analytical observation is so limited, so limited. The paramita is so limited. I mentioned on the one of the class. I say we just do excursion. Try to find self only in this body, only in five aggregates, and maybe furthest is on the table. Whatever, how many things we see, we never bother about finding self in that. How many thoughts arises, we never thought about finding self in that. You know, you see. So once you able to find selflessness in entire existence, then only you may able to find selflessness of each and everything in each and everywhere. So then you're able to kind of like arrive in realizing, emptiness of all. You see. So really not enough exercise. Uh, mhm. Yeah. So there's a two-way. One is finding selflessness, finding self in any um, activities that you engage, through your senses. Uh, Another one is finding emptiness of each and everything that arises to your perception. So that means it's emptiness of many phenomena. Emptiness of what whatever thinking comes, you try to figure it out, the real ultimate truth of that feeling. You see, and that is so powerful. Let's say anger arises, we normally make immediate judgment about the anger, about the situation, that which arises the anger or circumstances, whatever. We never give even a one little pause. Is this anger legitimate? Is this object of anger, is it legitimate or not? Is there really there's an object of that you feel nasty about something? Is there really out there there's nasty thing exists or not? If you give a pause and make you to analyze that itself is antidote. That's why antidote is a direct antidote to anything. The moment figuring out about its ultimate nature, already help to purify the anger. And that goes with any form of emotion, any form of good things, bad things comes in your way. Give a little pause, at least. Like we have to train to give. Okay, yes, it is very overwhelming, but at least Buddha say, investigate. Buddha said that it is not. It do not exist the way how it looks like. It has another way of existing. And that another way of existing is the truthful existence. And what you are making judgment now, in the first moment of that experience, actually, Buddha says false judgment. So how can I freak out in a false judgment? Isn't it? And that false judgment, it doesn't bring me any excitement, happiness. It brings me nasty experience. So listen to Buddha. At least give one moment to check it out. Check it out, another perspective. Check it out. Is there really something else that I don't know? Make sense? You see? So that itself is a great protection to our mind, Okay, determine the mood of in which I could exist. I as one with aggregates, as I mentioned before, so you have to check I is one with aggregates. I as a different from aggregates, or I as other than the aggregates. Okay, so now, okay. So there's in the note like this: intellectual and innate form of ignorance. Ignorance is the grasping at inherent existence, especially the inherent existence of the self. It's not talking about self, just me, self of every existence. So there are two forms: the intellectual and the innate form of ignorance. The intellectual form of ignorance, or the intellectual form of ignorance, grasping at the inherent existence of I or self. And that is found in those whose mind have been affected by, like philosophical ideas, or knowledge that we acquire through our experience, through many different ideas. But the innate form of ignorance exists in the mind of every sentient being. So whether you have a philosophical idea or not, whether you have education or not, as long as you have mind, as long as you are not awakened, then the innate form of ignorance is, naturally with you. Naturally with you from very beginning of the samsara, like that. The type of grasping at inherent existence that is presented in the Abhidharma Kosha, or the treasure of knowledge, and its commentary is intellectual form. So in Abhidharma Kosha, treasure of knowledge, elaborate explanation of the ignorant grasping, and that sometimes people misunderstood that is actually the innate ignorance. Actually, that is the second level the intellectual ignorance, which is grosser one. If in case, if there's anybody who have been settled regarding, the grasping of inherent existence, the grasping of inherent existence, that which we've been using the term, and also in these scriptures, if this were to be taken as a root cause of samsara, or the subtle ignorance, then our position would have to be that only those whose mind have influenced by philosophical concept, or the conceptual kind of knowledge would have. If there are beings that who do not have influence of the philosophical ideas or conceptual, the worldly mind, then we have to assert that they do not assert innate ignorance. So the text provide the quotation from the supplement to the middle way to clarify this point. Even those who have spent many eons as animal and have not beheld as unproduced or permanent self are seen to be involved in the misconception of an I. So what this passage means is telling us that beings who remain in the animal realm from many lifetimes do not possess the intellectual grasping as self, but they do have innate grasping of self. Therefore, the root cause of psychic existence cannot be the intellectual, but must be the innately or the spontaneously developed ignorant concept that grasps at self. Now, what is that innate grasping? The mind that, as long as the mind have not purified or have not negate inherent existence or substantial existence, and apprehending as a substantial existence, or grasping as substantial existence, or in other words, if the mind have not purified delusion, and the ignorant of grasping itself as a dualistic existence or substantial existence, until then the innate ignorance is not purified. Until then, the mind, any kind of mind, even virtuous mind, carry it is influence of ignorance. So therefore, even when we create a virtue, or even when we practice dharma, if it's not motivated and dedicated, or the practice is not introduced, by the wisdom of emptiness, even though nature is virtue, but the merit that you receive is still cause of samsara. It makes sense. Like all the goodness that we are experiencing now, it is a result of past lifetimes virtuous karma. But we are experiencing not in Pure Land, we are experiencing in samsara. How goodness also, we conclude with some sort of pain, isn't it? Some sort of disintegration, like such as this youthful, healthy body of human life. You feel good about it, your family feel good about it, everybody feel good about it. It is a result of past lifetimes of good karma, obviously. But unfortunately, this, without choice, it disintegrates, it decays, you get old, and it brings a lot of sickness, and it finally even dies. Why? Because it carries the element of ignorance, the element that which accumulated by ignorance, the karma. uh, because the virtue that you accumulated to achieve this body may be the virtue doing generosity, virtue of keeping morality, in order to achieve precious human life or human life like ours. There are three major causes. One of them is observing pure morality, then practicing generosity, then making aspiration to be born in such a conducive, life. You see, but we have choice. We had the choice to enjoy this perfect life in a pure land or in enlightened realm. But we reborn in this world, and how good it is still change. That's why it's not a true happiness. It put in the the category of from the three suffering called suffering of change. So therefore there's no true happiness to obtain, and the main reason is because of the innate ignorance. But you can overcome the influence of innate ignorance, whatever virtue where you conduct in emptiness. Let's say Om So Bhava Shuddha Sa Dhamma So Bhava Shuddha Hung. Like let's say you want to do something, first you meditate on emptiness. The person who going to engage in the virtue, let's say puja. Like every puja is so obvious. At the beginning, there's Om So Bhava Shuddha Sa Dhamma So Bhava Shuddha Hung. This is self and phenomena all lies in the nature of emptiness. Then you make all the massive practices like offerings, purifications, meditations, whatever. Then at the end, there's also dedication on emptiness. So whatever virtue you accumulate in that kind of quality, it will result in enlightened quality, quality in liberation state, pure land, experiences. But otherwise it still is a cause of samsara. So there are many good things we do, better than negative karma, the negative result, like suffering or pain, result of suffering or pain, result to suffer in the three lower realms, but still, cause of suffering, which is, suffering of pervasive compounded suffering, because this aggregate is pervasive compounded suffering. Yeah, this aggregates samsara, isn't it? How healthy body ours is samsara. How wonderful house you have is samsara. Uh, Perfect doctor out there, perfect medicine out there, everything is samsara. They're not going to protect us from the, they may protect us from suffering of pain, but they won't able to protect us suffering of pervasive compounded suffering. So that's why emptiness is highlighted. It's most important because of how important the ignorant is, the innate ignorant, the innate ignorant. You see, so therefore there's a conclusion like all ordinary beings' perceptions are false. Why false? Because all ordinary beings' perceptions are ignorant. And we may argue with them. How can you say ignorant? I know I'm a PhD holder. How can you say I'm ignorant? I can speak so well. I can do this. I can do that. I may. How can you say I'm ignorant? So here ignorant is not talking about that. Carrying the false ignorant of not knowing the ultimate truth, that already equal to your perception is always carry the influence of inherent existence, substantial existence, dualistic existence. The moment we open our eye, we perceive dualistically. The moment we open our mouth, dualistically. The moment we open our thinking, we perceive dualistically. And this trouble can only solve when we have the mindfulness in emptiness. There's no other solution. Bodhicitta also can help. So uh, okay. So I will do quick. I'm delaying everything. So just as the wisdom does not see an inherent nature in phenomena, having analyzed wisdom itself by reasoning, non-conceptually meditate on that. Just now, one of our brother, asked, once we arrive to the conclusion of analytical process, and you arrive to absorption state, do you just remain there, just observing that just complete empty, just stay like empty, don't do anything, don't think anything? And this is a good question because some people may think that that's the final destination, your emptiness meditation. It is important, but it's not a final. You see, why you need the absorption state of meditation, well, to be conducted, because we have this strong, nihilism or inter-nihilism. It's strong kind of like exist means have to exist substantially. We have that strong grasping. We hardly see empty. We see always existing, and the way we perceive existing is very much inherently existing, substantially existing. So that ignorance is so thick, so firm. In order to break that grasping, then it is important and necessary for us to remain certain good quality time of completely void of everything, like in space, like completely empty zone is necessary. But there are danger is that you may remain there just being empty all the time, and which is also not good. So you need to the final arriving in the emptiness practice is in the practice of special insight, using the clever mind, the shamatha mind, and the strength of the absorption kind of like absorption kind of quality. So these two combined together, while being so focused or so clear about void of inherent existence, but at the same time you have the ability to do analytical practice. Means you're able to kind of like do the work of detecting what exactly the negation is, and at the same time you're able to kind of like place, or you're able to kind of apply the antidote to the negation to overcome, not just stay like kind of like zombie here, not just like stay empty, like freeze, negation here dance, disturb you, not like that. So yeah, you really arrive to that wisdom that don't, not influencing by grasping, but at the same time you're able to utilize that wisdom to able to disturb the ignorant, disturb the negation, or overcome the negation. So in another word, the practitioner has to arrive to be able to exercise, to be able to exercise, during the period of meditation session. What do you call in Tibetan, there's a word parchemelam and namdolam. So post meditation, you do analytical meditation emptiness. Then after that, you go into meditation session. The first moment of meditation session is called the parchemelam, means the meditation session where there's no obstacle. No parche means no obstacle. Meaning the negation is already departed when you are in that absorption meditation stage. Even in the first level, the negation, like unable to sustain remaining in your system, is very much like, the example is in the dark room, middle of the night. The moment you on the light, darkness cannot sustain to stay, isn't it? Yeah. So before you on the light is very much like you are in a post meditation session. Post meditation session, maybe you are just holding one small torchlight. Just, whenever you need to search something, you on the light, okay, you found the thing, then after that, then again dark. But the main switch of the light, the moment you on it, that's it. Even you don't just like kind of like what's it? So then when you on the light, as if like you arrive into the meditation, the first moment of meditative absorption, moment. Right there, the negation is like the darkness gone. Have you purified the darkness? Not yet. Because still at night. If you off the light, darkness will come back, isn't it? You see? So you need to hold on to that light until the light comes back, the daylight comes in. When even you off the light, it's still bright, isn't it? So the next moment that until the daylight comes is like sustaining. You're able to travel mindfully. You know how to progress yourself from the first moment of on the light in the middle of the night until to the 6 o'clock in the morning when the light is lit up. When the light is lit up, you almost like achieve the state of cessation or namdolam. So that means within that 24 hour, you don't have to worry about the night. Within that 24 hour, you don't have to worry about the darkness of that last night, isn't it? Will never return, isn't it? So now, in the meditation process, they divide, you have to divide like 9 different portions of negation. It's as if like there's a nine levels of darkness is there. You need to overcome all these 9 in order to arrive to, I don't know, in the world, there's no night at all. I don't know. Is there any part of the world? But there's a part of the world sometimes like there's no light. I think Sweden or somewhere is like little light only. Yeah, so it may be somewhere anyway. So, and these 9 different stages, which are very much organized within the 10 bhumi, which is very much start from the moment you realize emptiness directly, which is when you arrive part of seeing. Means when you first time realize emptiness directly, non-conceptual realization of emptiness, first moment is you will start to enjoy the meditative equipoise. And the first moment that meditative equipoise is like very much like in the middle of the dark night, you're able to found your switch of the light and you're able to on it. And you continue to stay in that meditative equipoise in meditation on emptiness until that the light comes back. You complete 1 session. You're able to negate 1 portion of negation, the most gross one. Yeah. So here, not much effort required, but still certain concentration. Now, in order to increase your ability to challenge darker night, then you need to gather the resources of merits. That's why now in the daytime, you be busy collecting merits, where you engage in Bodhicitta practice, generosity, etc. And also you strengthen your concentration, shamatha. That's why within the practice of 6 perfection, all the 5 earlier one is regarded as a method. The shamatha, concentration, meditation didn't include as a wisdom. Wisdom is only one, the emptiness, last one. So meaning during post meditation, we need to exercise with generosity, patience, compassion, loving, kindness, including concentration meditation. In order to have a greater concentration to challenge the greater night, which is the more subtle state of negation. You see, so now another 24 hours of the night arrive, you do the same thing. So you gradually, you're able to overcome stage by stage. When the last, the negation, which is the subtlest of the subtle ignorant, which is, you can say, ignorant, the tendency of all the delusions, including to the conceptual ignorant, the gross level ignorant. Then once you overcome that, then the first moment again is like the middle of the night. Then when the day arrives, you arrive to a part of normal learning, which is the state of Buddhahood. Means entire negation is completely overcome. It's as if like you arrive to a country or place that there's no night at all. So it's very much like that. Anyway. Okay. So when analytical wisdom, which does not find any true existence in person and or other phenomena like scrutinized by reasoning, its truth is found not to have inherently existing nature, the wisdom. Hence, so here analysis is made to see whether the awareness apprehending the emptiness of object exists as it appears. The mind that apprehending emptiness, whether it exists as it appear or not. It is inherently one or inherently different from its basis of attribution. So similar way of analysis like that. Okay. Verse 55. The nature of this worldly existence, which has come from the conceptualization, conceptualization is conceptuality. Thus, the elimination of conceptuality is the highest state of nirvana. So it's talking about Four Noble Truths. And again, the conceptualization or we have to overcome all the concept. We need to overcome all the charting ideas from our mental system in order to really experience the the absorption and the benefit of the absorption state of the meditation on emptiness like that. Okay, so I think I have to stop here. Maybe you have like burning questions. Maybe we can do one, at least one or two. Otherwise, we can stop here. I already taken some of your time. Sorry for that. And when you go back home, if you have time, or until tomorrow, then yeah, do analytical meditation. Whatever you see, whatever you think, do analytical meditation. Okay. Yeah.
So in the four analytical meditations about self, which of those four would take in the concept of soul, which is like considered separate from body, or spirit?
Soul. So in Buddhist, in Buddhism, don't assert soul. Assert, accept consciousness, accept the rest of the other aggregates, and the basis of the the self, the identity, is very much very much the aggregates. And among all the aggregates, the most firm, most always there, it is continuum, is consciousness, the aggregate of consciousness. And so other tradition, maybe that consciousness, that ability, name as a soul. But Buddhists, the reason why unable to accept or assert soul is the soul that which asserted by earlier philosophers or other religious practitioners, philosophers, because that soul regarded as a permanent, is ultimate. So so there's no ultimate or permanent or one supreme base that which identify as a correct base to identify your identity. the nature of that base is impermanent nature, and nature of that nature of the base, the where identify as a me, it has it lies in the nature of momentarily changes. So therefore, it's not atma, means soul. There's no ultimate. It just established on the basis of momentarily uh, conducive cause and condition gather. Then you actualize certain kind of life, certain kind of continuum, and there's no predefined, already kind of ultimate, such as like atma is like always there, something like that.
Okay, Charlotte. My question is, when you're in that state of absorption and if you've achieved the light, you were saying then that you something like negate. You've kind of separated from the negate. Is that just like any sort of negative state, or what does that mean?
We can say negative to the negative. What's say? Not the negative that we usually say negative thoughts or negative ideas. It just is negative just because of its false view. It's a false being, false being, and what negate is that false being, which is the innate ignorant. The false grasping is the conceptual grasping, conceptual ignorance. So like that, yeah. Directly you don't see, it's not like kind of hurting you, in that way. Yeah. Just now about the Atma, the Buddhist philosophical the assertion, the basic the characteristic of an-Atma, or um, uh, which is very much like the selfless of a person. They establish on the characteristic of the nature of person being impermanent. So that's why it's a contradictory. So the other philosophers, they understand Atma as a person. So there's a contradictory of, here establish impermanent, they establish permanent. So that also contradicts. Then another contradiction is uh, uh, interdependent existence. So here, when you assert Atma, it's like it's ultimate existence. So it's no interdependent. It's difficult to establish interdependent existence. Then also autonomic existence. Here, Atma is, in Buddhist philosophy, do not assert autonomic existence. So here, when you assert Atma, you're asserting, the power of autonomic power of the Atma to bring about the person's existence, autonomic power. So here in Buddhist, do not assert autonomic existence. See, it has to exist with the help of correct conditions. So then, selfless. You see, here, do not who assert Atma do not assert selfless. It's actually self within. Atma means is very much like inherent self, and here in the Buddhist is like an inherent self, selfless. So all four basic philosophical assertion on the ultimate existence of person and phenomena is totally like contradicts based on that. It's not a kind of who believe in Atma is like very negative, nothing to do with that. Who don't believe in Atma is positive, nothing to do with that. It's just philosophical kind of finding. Okay. That's it? Oh, sure.
This is Nina. Thank you so much, Mishla, for the teachings. I have a question about the 4-point analysis. And the first point is establishing the object to be refuted.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little bit more about what techniques to use or how to do that? I find it very difficult.
Yeah. So the object of negation, yeah, this is important. You see, just now that I presented this, the definition of selflessness or definition of emptiness in, even though from the Buddhist four philosophical school, the first one called Vaibhasika, do not use the term of emptiness, but he used selflessness. So the defining selflessness, they prove the self is empty of self, which is selflessness, based on negating, negating that which, negating the reasons to prove the self. What do you call the, like in what do you call the, yes, it's, the opposite of selflessness is what? What do you call? Let's say like Atma. The self. So, yeah, it's a kind of like permanent self, inherent self. So it may be this way better. You see, so there are earlier, philosophers. They assert self as a permanent. Self, the ultimate being of self as a permanent, as independent, autonomic, and self exists by self potential. Like self exists from it is potential. Just now earlier we talked about the 4.1 is I do not exist from it is self. Remember? So now the Vaibhasika, the first philosopher school, the meaning of emptiness of self is being impermanent, being interdependent, dependent on cause and condition, dependent on cause and dependent on condition, and selfless. Selfless means self, not how to say, self exists within the self, which you explained before. So like that. Then the later school, like such as Chittamatra, they overcome the dualistic existence. They see the faults of dualistic existence. Even the earlier school, like Vaibhasika, has the flow of having the dualistic existence like that. So the Chittamatra, the slightly more advanced philosopher school, now they arrive to a position that they're able to overcome dualistic existence. By overcoming dualistic existence, is already you're quite near to discover the ultimate nature. So the dualistic existence is the negation. Self as a permanent grasping is a negation. Self as an inherent, self as an independent existence is the negation. On top of that, now you add self as a dualistic existence as a negation. Now on top of that, the Sautrantika Madhyamika assert, even though self lacking true existence, self lacking dualistic existence, but self is still, has to be exist substantially or inherently. So now, substantial existence, inherent existence is the negation. So once you negate one by one from the negation that, from your system, for you to realize emptiness, now you refer to this philosophical presentation. First you establish I do not exist as a permanent. I exist in the nature of impermanent. So you're already able to overcome, one negation. Then I do not exist independently. because I exist dependent on the cause. So you're able to again, negate a certain layer of the problem, the negation. Then gradually you say, I do not exist in the dualistically. I exist merely labeled by mind, like the Chitta Mantra would say. You see? So then after that, you say, I do not exist substantially. But the Saudantika Madhyamika, they assert substantial existence. Without substantial presentation, they cannot establish legitimate existence of a person. So now you hear, here comes to a point that you eliminate the substantial existence of self. By eliminating that, you're able to eliminate inherent existence, because inherent existence, the meaning of inherent existence, substantial existence, is the same meaning. Okay, here it comes, you see. The most subtle negation is inherent existence. So what is the meaning of inherent existence? What is that? That is no different than substantial existence. And what is that? Substantial existence. Okay, fine. But what is really that? Oh, this is actually referring to the same thing as a true existence. Oh, then, okay, fine. Now, make slightly more sense, but I still don't get it. What is true existence? Oh, true existence means existing dualistically. Then dualistically existence, you can understand as true existence. Oh, I said dualistic existence. What do you mean by that? Oh, dualistic existence means, substantially existing in what do you call, independently existing from its own side. You can understand as that is a dualistic existence. First you can understand that as a dualistic existence on the tangible phenomena. You see, then after that you can understand, even though you purify the dualistic idea in the tangible phenomena, but then the dualistic, on the subject, on the mind, like the Chitta Matra would present. So you have to get to there. So again, what do it mean? Then you can go further lower, what the Vaibhasika would understand. Say, what do you mean by inherent existence, dualistic existence, true existence? They say it is a similar meaning like accepting permanent self. Oh, I see. Oh, assertion of permanent self is also can be understood as the meaning of inherent existence. Okay, then it's easier to understand. Oh, inherent existence also can be understood as a independent existence. Oh, I see. That means if I understand as a dependent, existing dependent on cause and condition, that means I understood as a self as a lacking of independent existence and autonomic existence. Plus, I understand self as a impermanent existence. So that means I understood self exists in the nature of impermanent. So it's almost like now when you understand self as a nature of impermanent, interdependent on cause and condition, it's very much you understood what it means by lack of inherent existence. Okay, it sounds like what I'm talking. I don't know, but it's like that. So another example is like peeling the onion. Like what I said in the first class. If you want to know what is the core of the onion, only can able to reach there by peeling the onion. Okay, this is not onion, this is not onion, this is not onion. One layer. You come to the end. You just find empty of that hard shell of the onion, which is very much like permanent grasping. Then after that, more subtle one is like dualistic grasping. Then you peel another layer. It sounds like you peel the shell of true existence. You go more deeper, you peel the shell of substantial existence. You go more, the very end, right in the middle, you cut, and that's not inherent at all, no substantial at all, even one single substance from direction, from anywhere. And what you find is lack of inherent existence, and then you arrive to an emptiness. Om Ahom, sorry. So something like that. So again, maybe it's more like the candy. You have to chew it. You have to put the candy. You have to, you know, all this theory. You try to make sense of it one more time, two more time, you know, again and again. Oh, then finally, oh, I see. So it's really word this much you can say. You go and read thick book. It's very much like a lot of repetition. You know, always inherent, existence, lack of inherent existence, emptiness. You can just finish many pages, but really to like, I see. That only you meditate, something like that. Okay, so I stop here. Yeah. So just now we say your stepfather who passed away. What is the name?
Jeff Jordan.
Yeah. So so Jeff Jordan and anyone who need our prayer support, meritorious support. So we dedicate whatever merit we accumulate, uh, through this session, through this day, and all the merits that we accumulate in the past, in the present, in the future, all the merits that are accumulated by past, present, future Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, gurus. So we dedicate for him, and also rest any other who pass away, for them to actualize freedom from all the samsara it is causes, and achieve the state of full enlightenment accordingly. And also we dedicate whatever merit we accumulate for the peace and happiness of the world, peace and happiness to all sentient beings. In particularly, whatever merit is there, be the antidote to pacify, overcome the war that is happening in the world, and famine, diseases, natural disaster, and also dedicate this merit for all the good people, who are the source of peace and happiness of the world, like His Holiness Dalai Lama, like yourself, your family members, always enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all your aspirations. And also dedicate this merit for, Tibetan Lama Zopa Rinpoche's swift, unmistaken return of his reincarnation, and able to carry all the beneficial Bodhisattva legacies, to benefit the Dharma, benefit the sentient beings, and dedicate whatever each individual of you and your family members, aspire anything in life, mundane, spiritual, all those aspirations be fulfilled. Whatever outer secret obstacle may be there, to be purified. So by the power of the emptiness, by the power of the triple gem, by the power of your sincere heart of dedication, may all prayers to be actualized accordingly. Thank you. So have a good evening, and thank you.